Neil Bonnet, the pole sitter, as he takes the lead. Oops, he slows down, and now Cale Yarborough has the lead. Benny Parsons cuts inside as to a number of other cars, and I do believe that Neil Bonnet has got a major problem there. As you can see him in the middle of the pack, slowed way down. And there goes Cale Yarborough, chased by A.J. Foyt, Donnie Allison, and as they move down into turn number 2, it's Ron Hutcherson moving into the 4th spot. I think you had the story there, Chris.
I think the driver showed great professionalism. Bonnet stayed right where he was supposed to stay, and everybody drove around him. No episode. It could have been bad when the car wouldn't get off the line.
And now A.J. Foyt is in the lead in car number 51, followed by Donnie Allison in car number 1, as they will come by the grandstand for the first time. And the pole sitter, Neil Bonnet, is way back in the pack. And here is Donnie Allison challenging A.J. right in front of the grandstand. Allison down low. And A.J. hangs on to the lead with Cale Yarborough there in 3rd place. As they whiz by our camera, you can see that they are really moving that first lap at better than 175 miles an hour. And side by side is Donnie Allison on the inside, car number 1. A.J. Foyt, number 51, outside him. Cale Yarborough right behind, and Richard Petty has moved into 4th. Richard Petty is running out in front of the field almost by himself. He's got about a 5-second lead on the second group of cars. And in that second group, Cale Yarborough, car number 11. Benny Parsons right behind him. And there goes Benny Parsons challenging for 2nd place. And a little blue smoke coming out of the back of Benny's car.
You know, it's amazing, Bill, that the top drivers are still in it as hard as they're pushing these cars. The attrition rate has been very low. All the stars are still here, and they're giving these engines tremendous torture, put to the floor all the way around. It's time some engines blew.
Here's the man in car number 43, Richard Petty. And we have just been notified that a thunderstorm or thunder shower is approaching the backstretch. Now, at the bottom of your picture, you'll see the time interval between Richard Petty and David Pearson, the number 2 car. There he is, going right by. He's in 2nd place. But as we look down there now, we see it is raining off of turn number 2, and there's a little bit of water coming up from under the wheels of David Pearson.
They've just put the yellow light on, Bill. There it is on the backstretch. The shower's hitting the back straightaway, and with these slick tires, a 3,800-pound car cannot race safely on a wet racetrack.
Well, they can do one of 2 things. They can run it under the yellow for a while, hoping that it's not going to be serious, or if it gets really bad, they can put it under the red. But as you can see, Richard is racing in sunlight, but over on the backstretch, the clouds are very dark, and over in turn 2, it looks like it's really coming down.
Well, it looks now that the way the rain is, it's really pouring down out there. I hope no one spins because the track is really slippery, Bill.
Here's the interesting thing. We've completed 81 laps. That's more than halfway. So now they're coming in, and it looks like we have a red flag. They are going to halt the race and bring the cars in. Bill Fleming along with Chris Economaki, and we're very happy to report here at the Daytona International Speedway that the rain has stopped and they are racing under the green once again in the Firecracker 400. However, they did have to go 22 laps under the yellow once they restarted the race in order to dry the track out. But we have nothing but sunshine right now and a pretty good race going on. Car number 72, Benny Parsons, right there on the right of your screen, was leading until just a second ago when you saw Darrell Waltrip pass him. But Parsons is slowing down to make what he hopes to be the final pit stop of the day. Waltrip has yet to make his final pit stop, and more significantly, Richard Petty has made his final pit stop, and he did a beauty. 14.2 seconds for rubber on the right side and fuel. So here comes Benny Parsons, who has to have a good fast stop here in order to have any hopes of winning. Chris?
Okay, Benny Parsons is in the pits now for the most crucial of his stops, the last one. Right side tires, fuel, a windshield cleaning job, and this is where the pitmen are at their crucial best. They can win it or lose it for him right here. He's hooked up in a tremendous duel with Darrell Waltrip for the lead in this competition. Gets just enough fuel to go the rest of the way, and on he goes. Back to you, Bill.
All right, Chris, that was 19 seconds for Benny Parsons, and now it'll be interesting to see what Darrell Waltrip does because he's coming into pit row, Chris. Waltrip is coming in now, and that means that Richard Petty has regained the lead that he lost there temporarily.
Okay, here's Waltrip, and his crew is out there ready. They're going to change right side tires and gas up the car. They can change tires just as quick as it takes to fuel the car. Let's see how fast the men work. He's getting his windshield cleaned as well, and the youngster from Franklin, Tennessee is waiting to go back on the track. A little bit of a delay on the right rear, and that looked like a faster stop than Benny Parsons' crew gave him.
Well, you're right, Chris. It was 15.5 seconds. That is 3.5 seconds faster than Benny Parsons, but it's a little over a second slower than Richard Petty's. So Richard is really in good shape right now. According to our figures, he's about 15 seconds ahead of Waltrip.
With the last pit stops out of the way, Bill, we've got 7 cars in the same lap. Petty, Waltrip, Parsons, Pearson, Foyt, Donnie Allison, and Buddy Baker's made it. It's going to be a good finish.
Any report on Bobby or an AJ? Do they have problems?
Bobby Allison is still a good many laps down with engine problems, and AJ's in that same lap, but at the tail end of it.
So there you saw a shot of Waltrip on the backstretch, and there's Parsons and Pearson chasing him. Chris, you want to make a comment here before you head toward victory lane?
Well, I think that Cale Yarborough's coming back has preserved his point lead by probably a very slim margin. Petty certainly would have taken the point lead had Yarborough remained in the garage.
Okay, Richard Petty has 3/4 of a lap to go before he pulls into victory lane. He can almost coast in from here. The way we have it figured out is that Richard Petty, who was 103 points down to Cale Yarborough coming into this race, is going to pick up 85 or 90 points. It's going to be probably somewhere between 10 and 15 points difference at the end of this race. And now everybody's standing, a lot of Petty fans here today, naturally. This will be the 185th victory in Richard Petty's long and illustrious career, more than any other driver. The checkered flag is out for him, and here it is, the winner of the Firecracker 400. Incidentally, that ties him with David Pearson for Super Speedway wins with 44. Here is 88, Darrell Waltrip, who will be the second place finisher. And a pretty good race for third and fourth. Benny Parsons nipping David Pearson for third, so Pearson will finish fourth. And as mentioned, Cale Yarborough, who is 12 laps down, still was running at the end of the race. A.J. Foyt, fifth, as Richard pulls into victory lane. Donnie Allison, sixth, and Buddy Baker, seventh, all running in the same lap. And so now it's all happiness for car number 43, his crew. Let's get out of Chris Economaki in victory lane. Chris?
Well, Richard, by winning, you've got over $200,000 in prize money this year, and another championship looks like it might be along the way. Pleased at that, I'm sure.
Well, I tell you, it's going to be a long, hard road for that championship. Cale had a bad break today, but, you know, we're still a little bit behind. But if we can keep having good days like today, we can...